Crystal, brilliant to have you on the program, and off to a pretty damn good start. You've got to say, 50 points put on both teams. So let's just look at the attacking side of it before we look at the points conceded. Are you happy with what you've seen with ball in hand, scoring points?
Yeah, both games were quite different to each other in how we scored our points. The first game we kind of dominated in the set piece, and a lot of our tries came from the forwards, and so it was good to see us use our backs in a way that created opportunity, and you really got to see our back three in action against the Blues. So it was definitely two very different games and how we played them, and it's good to see that we've got both those options.
Okay, so how do you improve upon that when you're scoring or putting 50 points on the teams that you're playing? I mean, how do you fine-tune that?
I think anyone who was in our camp probably, even though we put 50 points on the Blues, we still came away from that game and from our game against the Hurricanes going, there's pieces that we kind of stepped away from that we needed to keep moving forward in that direction, and so we probably stepped away from our game plan in the last 20-30 minutes against the Blues, and it's something that we need to make sure that we're able to control the momentum of the game the whole way through. And so there's definitely pieces that we come away from, both attack, defence, and set piece, that we want to tune up and sharpen up and tidy up this week.
21 conceded in the first game, 33 in the next game, so that's 50 points across both games as well. No coach is ever happy with that, are you?
No, and yeah, definitely that second half was a little hard to stomach, but we didn't play in the right area of the field, and a lot of those points were conceded 4 phases in our 22, multiple times staying down there, and so yeah, probably we didn't play the game plan that we had put in place throughout the whole game, and we suffered with that, and so not happy with that piece, but happy with the learnings that we're getting each week, the growth that we're getting each week. And we say it like it's almost like that trampoline game add-ons. We only had 13 days coming into the first game, and then we get another 4 days together, and then we get another 4 days together. And so what we're putting on show, considering the time our players have had together, our staff have had together, we're pretty impressed with, the displays that we're putting on show. But yeah, we always want more too.
Are you a different coach? Crystal Kaua is with us. So you were assistant last year, the head coach this year. Are you a different head coach than you are an assistant coach? Do you notice any changes?
Oh, head coach is definitely a different role to assistant. Assistant, the brilliance of that is that you just get to focus on the rugby. Head coach, there's a lot of moving pieces, and it's a chess game, and and you have to look at the whole picture, the culture, the environment, the belonging piece, as well as putting this new coaching team together. And so we have very experienced coaches with us, but we've never worked together, the whole 4 of us together. And so, there's so many moving parts, and that's the enjoyment factor for me. I love that piece, putting the pieces together.
Sure.
And we've got an awesome crew, our coaching staff, our management crew, our players. We've got a good group, but we're always looking for more than just a rugby game. We're trying to build a connection off the field that allows us to go into some pretty dark places if we need to, and be there for each other.
Look, a quote from Wayne Smith with the Black Ferns has just stuck with me forever. He says when he was coaching the men, that the men had to win to feel good. He said coaching the women was the complete opposite, that the women had to feel good to go out there and win. Is that the same kind of case? Do you kind of detect the same kind of thing with your team and your players?
It's funny because Smithy's one of my mentors, and that's the thing I said to him when he first took over. I was like, that's the difference between men and women. Women have to feel good to play good, and men have to play good to feel good. And so I think
he stole it from you. He never told me, Crystal, he stole it from you. He stole it from you.
Oh, don't worry, I've stole a lot of stuff from him.
Yeah.
It's been more the other way than that way. But there's a deep belief that the off the field piece, the connection piece, it actually drives performance in a different way. And so, it's kind of that untapped potential, I'd say, within a women's environment.
Is there a spare minute in the day? I mean, as you said, you had 14 days and then you get a game, then you got 4, then you got 4. I just imagine when you're saying that pretty much you're breathing and living this 24/7. Is that the case?
Yeah, I think anyone who coaches is breathing and living it 24/7. Yeah, I don't think you can coach without being in love with rugby at this level. And, that's the benefit is, we've got a group that are in love with the game, and, between our coaching team, we're close to 100 years. We've got some pretty experienced troopers who are doing the hard yards, and it's definitely not just me. We've got a team behind us, and I'd say the players and the staff, heaps of our crew are going home and working 3 days, and some of them working 40 hours in that 3 days to then come back to do 4 days with us. And so
it's a commitment,
there's a lot of commitment and sacrifice to be able to do what we're doing across the board, not just our players but our staff included.
Is the standard of the rugby better than it was last year? Can you detect that already?
I definitely think that the starting point was higher.
Okay.
And it was a convo we had with Bunce when he came to the first game, the pre-season, like where the players were athletically, physically and rugby-wise as a starting point was higher. So I'm thinking where it will go to by the end of the season will be higher. And you see it every week. Each team has had the same prep, and it is a limited preparation window. So each team is growing with that time together. And I'm sure what we put on show, both us and the other teams come semi-final, final time will be a pretty high standard and better than what we have done in our first, second, third game.
Awesome, and thank you so much for giving us some time. I could sit here and chat to you for, I've got a million other questions, but I know that you're very, very busy. Hopefully we can catch up again in the next couple of weeks. Thank you so much.
Hey, thanks for your time. Take care.